London is a city that is full of world-famous landmarks, but what if I was to tell you that some of the coolest and most quirky spots and landmarks are hidden in plain sight? Today, I'm gonna take you on a journey to discover 10 of them. And I'm using the new DJI Action 5. This is an action camera, but can you actually vlog with it? This is a very renowned and famous, you can call it academy, museum, and they have amazing exhibitions. It's a really big place, very famous. The buildings look amazing, okay? The architecture, all classical England, all of that. So there is nothing new on this, okay? But hidden in here is the prototype of the traditional, iconic phone box. This is the prototype and it's still here, okay? It's standing here. Nobody or hardly anybody knows about it. It's right next to very busy London. People walk past around this box and nobody ever even notices that this is such an iconic box. It was designed in 1920s and originally was supposed to be blue and silver. That was the color that was supposed to be, but the post office here decided on red, and the rest is history. It's been all over the world. There are actually countries that exported this design into their very own countries, and obviously now with mobile phones, you know, the boxes are a thing of the past and gone. And this one that we're coming to see now is the tomb of Anna Courtois, and legend goes that this tomb holds the secret to time travel, of all things. And what happened is that this lady, very wealthy lady, befriended two chaps. One was an Egyptologist and the other one was an inventor. And when she passed away, legend goes, they got together and they built a time machine and they hid it inside her tomb or mausoleum. And the key got lost, so nobody can verify this. So there you go. Time travel was actually solved some 300 years ago in classical England. We just now need to find this tomb because there are many tombs here. Oh, I think, oh, that's the one. That's the one. And obviously I don't want to be too long here because it's a cemetery and you know, you need to show a little bit of respect for the people that are buried here, you know, so this is not like a film location. With this one, I'm literally just holding the camera with both hands and walking really slowly, okay? And taking advantage of the stabilization of the camera. So this is the tomb that holds the secret of time travel. There you go. And the next one is right here in the city center in Sloane Square. And let me show you what this incredible feature is that I don't know if there is any other place in London that has such a thing. This is a very unique feature of this station, okay? And let's go, I think it's the westbound platform. And one of the really great things about vlogging with a tiny camera like this is that it's so small. You really feel quite comfortable just going with a camera like this pretty much anywhere. It's not just the fact that you can place it in all sorts of weird places, whether it's a motorbike or a bicycle or skiing down a slope. It's the fact that this is such a small camera that vlogging and doing this kind of thing is actually quite easy, and if you're the kind of person that feels a little bit apprehensive about talking in public, this is great. And this is it. For years, I thought that was some kind of walk path or something, but it's actually a river, the Westbourne River. And this river used to go from Hampstead Heath all the way down to Chelsea. But when they build this station, they have to find a way to funnel that river. I've been to this station for years, if not decades, and I never thought or even imagined that that structure up there was a river. And I am almost guaranteed that no one person that comes to this station knows that that is actually a river. How about that? This is the next one, is the Tyburn tree, and it's actually never been a tree. It was the place for hanging in London for over 600 years, and it's this sort of stamp or label on the ground, and these 3 trees that you see here behind me, those were the pillars of the construction, and it could hang up to 24 people at the time at once, and there would be thousands of people sometimes coming to see the public hangings. So that shows you how much times have moved on. And most of the people that walk and drive through every day, if not all of them, have no idea how important this place was about 200 to 300 years ago. This next site or place that we're coming to visit is a really small one. It's the smallest listed building in the whole country, and it sits amongst these rather fancy and pompous buildings, as you can clearly see behind me, but you wouldn't believe how tiny this building is. This building here is the smallest, tiniest listed building in the country, and because of that, they cannot touch it, they cannot get rid of it. And this whole area used to be, 300-400 years ago, used to be for horse riding, for the nobles and the wealthy, okay? So they would build these tiny little huts or sheds, if you want to call it, so that people would come here and they would rest and change their boots or empty the sand from their boots. And if you see inside, there is nothing in here. And one thing that is really nice about the Action 5 Pro is the fact that it doesn't overheat, which is a problem that you had with the Action 4, for instance. So I understand that some people might say, the Action 4, the Action 5 are very similar. Yes and no. I mean, I had situations with the Action 4 where after 20 minutes, the camera overheats. So that alone in itself is worth the upgrade, in my opinion, if you like this kind of look. The next one that we're coming to see is a bit of a unique coincidence, because one of the most popular hotspots for tourists to take photos when they come to London is to try and get a photo in 10 Downing Street. The house of the Prime Minister is been countless times on TV. Everybody wants to get a photo, but getting there, it's impossible for obvious reasons. It's like if you try to get a photo in the White House, that's just not gonna happen. But did you know that if you just walk down half a mile away off the Strand, you have this door that looks exactly the same as 10 Downing Street. And this is just a coincidence because the architect that did this building took influence of the fashion at the time, and it built something that looks very, very similar. And it's even called number 10. It's 10 Adam Street because of the name of the architect. So you even have the number, and it looks so similar. The design, the architecture, the balconies. So this is a very cool and unique place that very few people know about. This is a house where Benjamin Franklin lived for 17 years. So one of your founding fathers lived in this house in London between 1757 and 1775. And look at that. Benjamin Franklin lived here. And Benjamin Franklin was an inventor, was a philosopher, was many things. But during that time was a chief colonial diplomat. And obviously after 1775, you know very well what happened. So this spot, believe it or not, is where one of your founding fathers lived. This next one that we're coming to see now is the Republic of Texas Embassy in London. Did you even know that first there was a Republic of Texas, and secondly that they had an embassy, and it's somewhere here. It's number 4. Look, if you look at this, this is the Texas delegation, 1842 to 1845. This is one of those hidden gems that, where is it? That's number 1, that's number 5, that's number 4. Okay, so the Republic of Texas had their embassy on this door, inside there. And obviously, you know, they joined the Union, and I am now going to teach you Americans about American history. And you know, one thing that is really interesting is that underneath this square, there is a very big wine merchant, and there are 2 acres of cellars and caves to store the wine. 2 acres underneath all this area underground. And the Texans, they left an unpaid bill of $160 for over 200 years. They drank all the wine, cheeky ministers from Texas, and they buggered off back to the US, and they left the bill unpaid for 200 years. Well, not 200, but 160 years. And 20 or 30 years ago, an Anglo-Saxon Texas wine group, they came and paid that bill. I don't know who they paid it to, but I wouldn't mind to see if they would give me access to those acres or those tunnels. Should we go and ask? Let's go and ask. And there are genuinely about 2 acres of, and those do have wines and things, or it's morely now for functions and...
It's predominantly for functions. We keep about, I don't know, 10 or 15,000 bottles on site, and then in our warehouse, which is outside of London, there's 20 or 30 million, which is where the majority of where we hold our stock.
Wow. The Republic of Texas
Yes.
had rented the rooms from you guys,
Yes,
no?
when they, is it seceded, I think is the term?
Yeah.
They came in their embassy, I guess.
Yeah. So they had a bit of fun time, and they left an unpaid bill of $160. And
I'm still waiting for them to pay us.
But I read that they came, like the Anglo-Saxon Wine Society, they came and paid the bill or settled the bill.
Oh, maybe I don't know off the top of my head.
But if they come and pay the bill, would you charge $160, or would you charge compound interest for the debt?
I hope so.
At 5%, like every other single person?
I don't know, but I'd hope we'd pay interest.
If you don't, let me know, because I'm more than happy to be the middleman and get a commission. There you have it. A breakdown of the Texas Republic leaving a debt unpaid of $160 that they don't even know if it's been settled. So if anyone from Texas knows about this, you know, please get in touch with these folks, because, you know, about 150 or 170 year debt, I think is long overdue and well deserved to be paid. The next one that we come to visit is one that anybody that likes movies will be able to recognize, and if you are Scottish or have any Scottish heritage, will be able to relate 100%, because this is a plaque that marks the spot where William Wallace was executed in 1302, I think. I might be wrong on the date. And you probably know this character from the movie Braveheart with Mel Gibson.
What will you do without freedom?
And this plaque here, just behind me, marks the spot where William Wallace was executed. I cannot begin to imagine what he must have gone through, because the execution was as a traitor, and in 1300 Britain, things were quite gruesome. When I was researching what happened to him and, this spot, I had to stop reading because the stuff that they put him through was pretty incredible. Legend says that he didn't scream. I find it a bit upsetting though that such an important figure in Scottish history, the memory plaque or the commemoration is right opposite some public toilets. That kind of tells you in a way how the English feel about William Wallace. But nonetheless, is a very important figure in the history of this country, and it's something that very few people know. The next one that we're coming to see is right behind me at King's Cross Station, and I wouldn't call this a secret spot or a hidden gem, but if you are a film person and you like movies, I'm sure you can recognize this and it's gonna put a smile in your face. This is King's Cross, and it's one of the largest train stations in London, in the country for that matter. And there you have it. Look at this. It's platform 9 3/4. Do you know what movie this is from? It's the Harry Potter. And I told you that it wasn't a secret because look how many crowds it pulls. I think we've all watched at least one of them, even if you don't want to admit it. Even if you don't want to admit it, we've all watched a Harry Potter movie. You always have these queues and everything or not?
These are the smallest shoes we have.
The smallest?
Smallest, so we always have plenty.
Really?
Yeah, sometimes they extend them outside.
No way. If you come here on weekends, I've just been told by the security guy that the queues go all the way up to there and through and out. It's pretty amazing. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this vlogging video about these 10 weird, quirky and unknown spots or hidden gems in London. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one.